We're here to talk today about the Swim Today campaign from USA Swimming, which is going to be launched in the spring of 2014. We have Matt Farrell, Chief Marketing Officer at USA Swimming, joining us. Matt, so tell me how the concept for Swim Today came about.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. It really came shortly after London, and part of our business planning at USA Swimming, we said, you know what, we need to create something to pull the industry together to grow participation. And, you know, one of the lines we used early in the process was, hey, this is not about USA Swimming. This is about swimming in the USA. And we think that's a real important distinction. We think we're going to be a beneficiary of this. We think the swimsuit manufacturers are going to be a beneficiary, the American swimming coaches, master swimming, others. We think we're all going to benefit from it. But really, once we grounded this campaign in, okay, what's best for the sport, you know, swimming with that little s versus any one organization, it really came together far more quickly than I ever imagined when we could kind of just really rally upon that, around that one central idea.
You mentioned Rio as kind of the extension of how far you really want to see this going. Do you see it running past Rio, maybe even all the way to 2020 in Tokyo?
I think it has to. I think in the first couple of years, we'll monitor web traffic to see and how many people are searching for teams to swim on in the early days. But I think this is going to be a long-term effort. And the premise of this whole campaign is to bridge kids from those who have learned to swim and bridge them onto teams, whether it be year-round team, whether that be shorter pre-team, or what some clubs might call bridge programs. And to do that, as you mentioned, the photo shoot in Phoenix, here's really the marketing campaign behind this, is we're creating a public service announcement, which will be distributed to about 1,000 TV stations across the country. We're actually creating a physical kit that comes in a tube with all kinds of materials, some giveaway type items that will go to about the first 1,500 teams across the country who come to our website and apply for that kit. And then we're also going to be doing some public relations, outreach, as well as some digital media advertising. But all of those elements will start to hit, as well as a very fun and quirky ad campaign that's all going to start in the first week of May.
And the goal is to really make this kind of a grassroots effort, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We realize even with these organizations coming together, it's still not enough media dollars to make a dent when you're out there against the Procter & Gambles of the world and the AT&Ts that have all kinds of media budgets to spend. And so we really have to make this a ground game at the club level. And quite honestly, it needs to be that way because some teams are going to be interested in growing and some aren't. And so we want people to be able to opt in and use the campaign if they can. And if they don't feel like they have the capacity for growth in their area, that they have a chance to opt out of it and as well.
Let's talk about the people who were involved in helping create these assets. It's an agency based in Minnesota, correct?
Yeah, the agency is based in Minneapolis. It's called Cole McVoy. And they've done some other really interesting outdoor and recreational type work in the past for the bicycling industry, Caribou Coffee, and we just, as we were shopping around, we felt like we needed a traditional advertising agency to help really bring this to life. And when we went up there and visited with them, it was just one of those really great culture fits where we felt like they were the right people to help us bring this message.
Now, we're not going to spill the beans on the exact content that you have lined up, but do you have it lined up to as who's going to help you distribute this PSA on a nationwide level?
We do. We're still negotiating that contract with them right now, so I'd like to hold on to that just for a moment, but there are several services out there that help distribute PSAs and make the follow-up calls and do marketing campaigns to the TV stations. And what we'll be doing is that we'll also be creating a really kind of a form letter and a bit of a script that swim clubs across the country would be able to have a script to know to call their local television station and say, hey, I know you just received this PSA. It would really help us a lot if you run it in our local market. And so, again, that kind of goes back to some of the ground game that we need to make this effective.
I understand you're going to have some pretty famous person helping you with the rollout of all this.
Yeah, we had just a little bit of a media event last week in New York with Dara Torres, and so she's going to be a phenomenal help on this particular campaign, and we're really looking forward to working with Dara.
Well, congratulations, Matt, on this endeavor. It's a wonderful idea, and we wish you and USA Swimming and Masters and everybody else that's involved with this the best of luck on the rollout.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. And swim teams across the country are going to be able to come to swimtoday.org as early as Tuesday, March 4th, and start signing up and apply for one of those kits if they want to make it happen in their local community.
Well, that's excellent. Thanks again, Matt.